studios of the MetroNews Radio Network in Morgantown, this is West Virginia's premier sports talk show.
From Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between, this is the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Northside Automotive, Route 19 in Summersville. We'll beat the advertised price of any other dealer in the state, guaranteed. Now here's your host, Tony Caridi.
Hi, everybody across the state of West Virginia. Welcome on in. It is a Tuesday night edition of the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline, in studio with the beloved Coach Greg Hunter. Got a little situation here tonight, folks. Got a little situation. I have got a 2-hour show, and I only have 52 minutes to do it in. That's a challenge. Seriously, we just have more stuff. We could do probably 3 hours here tonight. So we're just going to jump straight into the pool and lay it out for you. Coming up on the program tonight, we're going to head out to Lubbock, Texas. We're going to talk with Chris Level, one of the members of the broadcast team for the Red Raiders. We'll get his thoughts on Saturday's matchup with the Mountaineers. We've got an 8-0 Shepherd University football team getting ready to take on Fairmont State, the Mountain East Conference Championship, or I should say Mountain East Conference game of the week on Thursday night. We'll televise that game on MetroNews this coming Thursday on the WVMetroNews.com channel. And we'll talk with Monty Cater, the underappreciated head coach of Shepherd College. All he does is win. Also, I've got an auction that's going to be going on tonight, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to talk about. And then we're going to talk later in the program about Dana Holgerson's press conference, Rich Rodriguez and Virginia Tech. SSAC high school football rankings are out, playoff time. Like I said, Coach Hunter, more than enough to handle. And lastly on the show, we're going to talk about No Shave November and why Coach Hunter is worried he can't grow a beard. But first things first, we are joined right now by Mark McCullough from Parkersburg. Mark, good evening to you. Thanks for being with us.
Well, good evening, Tony. How are you and Mr. Hunter tonight?
We're doing quite well. I'll lay it out, and then you can give the details. This is the part of the show that I was talking about. We're going to do an auction tonight. We are auctioning off tonight. And we're going to take bids until 6:50 tonight. We've got 2 sideline passes for Saturday's game between West Virginia and Texas Tech. If you've never been on the sideline, here is your opportunity. We're going to auction those off. We're going to set the opening bid at $100. Why are we auctioning off 2 sideline passes? And by the way, if you've never been on the sideline, it'll change your it'll change you. If you've never been on the sideline during the game, it'll give you a completely different perspective that you won't forget. Why are we auctioning these off? We're auctioning these off for a former Mountaineer, starting member of the 1988 Fiesta Bowl team, Rick Phillips from Parkersburg. And, Mark, you can take it away there. Obviously, Rick has got some significant health issues.
Yes, over the last couple of years, Rick's really going through some real severe health problems, especially this year. Currently, I'd spoken with Rick last night. We call him Ricky here in Parkersburg, even though he's a big old lineman. But he just got back from Cleveland Clinic. He's been up in the Cleveland Clinic 8 different times this year, and his longest stay has been for 4 months. He currently has some severe health problems, anywhere from him being a diabetic to kidney failure to he has problems with his pancreas, with a cyst on his pancreas, and he has his pancreas is not able to use the duct to get into the bowel. So right now he goes back up on the 11th of November, and they're going to try to remove the cyst. They haven't been able to do that because of all the scarring that he's had from the other surgery that he's had this year. So they're going to try to put a stent in his bowel and hoping that that will alleviate some of the problems.
So we are trying, so obviously we are going to try here tonight to help offset those costs, because obviously those numbers grow very, very quickly. And one of the Mountaineer big-time supporters in the Parkersburg area got access to these 2 sideline passes. And so basically the money will go to help offset his medical costs, correct?
Right. He had to been life-flighted from Parkersburg to Cleveland. In fact, when they got on the helicopter, they told his wife, Anna, he says, we would give him maybe a 10% chance that he's going to survive this trip. And, you know, Rick's a tough old bird, and he survived, and he hasn't been able to work. His wife is now his permanent caretaker, so financially it's eating him up as well as with his health.
So that's where we're going to be able to come in, and Mountaineer fans, you're going to be able to help out. Money will go to help offset those costs, and we encourage people. So we're going to do this until 6:50 at 6:12 right now. Number to call is 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. I'll be presumptuous on this. It's better to bid early. We'll let you know where the number stands. If you try to get in there late, you might not make the date. That's what always happened. Has happened in the past, so we're just kind of giving you the warning. Opening bid at $100. We hopefully will get a lot of money. Mark, we appreciate it, and obviously our thoughts are with Rick.
Well, I'll be talking to him later on tonight, and I'll make sure that I'll pass that on to him.
You got a deal. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mark McCullough calling in from Parkersburg. So there you have it. An opportunity to get a treat for yourself or someone that might really enjoy sideline deal. Saturday, Texas Tech weather's supposed to be really nice, right? And we will open up the bidding at $100. Our producer, J.R. Falls, will get your name and your information if you bid. Again, the number to call is 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously, opportunity to stand on the sidelines is wonderful, but to help out a guy like Rick Phillips, one of the all-time great Mountaineers, I mean, first-team All-American, I mean, on top of being just a wonderful person.
Yep. We've
known for a long, long time, Tony, and anything we can do to help Rick and his family, we'd love to be able to do, and hopefully people out there can help us.
Staying on the topic of offensive line, that was the bigger or biggest news story coming out of Dana Holgerson's press conference earlier today, and that was that Dana Holgerson said that there is going to be reshuffling on the Mountaineer offensive line this coming Saturday. He didn't say, we're going to maybe. He used the word definitely going to make some moves on the offensive line. The offensive line did not perform well on Thursday last week against TCU, and as a result, Coach Hunter, they feel changes are needed. I think this is all preceded by the injury to Yadni Kajust has taken away the combination that they had.
Yeah, in the chemistry that they had, and they didn't feel good with the way the combination went this past week at TCU, and certainly Yadni eventually is going to get back, but it could be a while. But until he does, and maybe even after he does, West Virginia is looking at some relatively major tinkering with its offensive line, and talking to Ron Crook and obviously Dana's comments as well. 3 new offensive linemen are very much in the mix to not only play but potentially even start. Stone Underwood, who's played at center, is going to get some looks also at guard for West Virginia, and then Grant Lingenfelter and Marcel Lazard. Lingenfelter has played guard, but he's going to get some looks at tackle. Lazard is a pure tackle, so all those guys are going to get opportunities to show this week in practice whether they are worthy of moving into the starting lineup, and they're basically reopening this thing. And Tony, you'd love to say, the competition's great and all that, but you don't do this if you're happy and satisfied with where your offensive line is. Obviously, this is a problem for West Virginia. They're looking for a cure. They're looking to see if there's some of the other young guys that maybe can give them a spark and get their best 5 guys on the field, because right now they don't feel they're performing at optimum level in the offensive front.
Got a smile on my face right now, Coach Hunter.
How come?
You know why I got a smile on my face?
Why?
Because an anonymous bidder just called on that opportunity to have sideline passes.
I see that.
And he has bid $1,000. Someone has bid $1,000. So
wonderful.
Hey, you know what? That's an awesome bid. But you know what? We still have a lot of time to go. About 43 minutes. You can still beat it. $1,000. Thank you, whoever you are, for doing that. Does not want his name obviously out there, but we appreciate that. We're going to have an open bid. 800-765-8255. 800-765-TALK. 800-765-8255. Again, we're going to raise money here tonight for former Mountaineer Rick Phillips, who has some significant medical issues. This is the time of the year where the SSAC high school football rankings are so absolutely important, right? We've got 1 week to go in the regular campaign. And now when you get
some are done.
No, some are done, yeah. 1 week to go. And in Class Single A, last team out right now in Single A, Clarksburg, Notre Dame. Last team in, Valley Wetzel, they're lumberjacks, and that's okay. Meadow Bridge is 15, Van at 14, Tug Valley, Bishop Donahue locked at 12, Pendleton County's 11, tied at 9, Pocahontas County and St. Mary's. 8, Williamstown, tied for 6, Wheeling Central and Man. 5, Buffalo, 4, East Hardy, 3, Moorfield, 2, South Harrison, and 1, the world champion Blue Eagles of Magnolia. Class AA, last team out, or first team out, depending on which way you want to look at it. Independence. Independence is 17. They're 6-3. West Side is the last team in. They're 6-3. Liberty Raleigh, Roane County at 14. Herbert Hoover 13. Weir 12. Robert C. Byrd 11. Summers County 10. Chapmanville 9. Then Lincoln 8. Kaiser 7. James Monroe 6. Mingo Central 5. Fairmont Senior 4. Tulsa 3. Bluefield 2. Bridgeport. The 52-time champion Bridgeport Indians are number 1. They've won 52, haven't they?
Yes.
In a row.
Something like
Class AAA, last team or first team out. Hurricane with a 7.33. Last team in, Princeton with a 7.89. Then it's Spring Valley at 15, Musselman at 14, Spring Mills, South Charleston tied at 12. The Fighting Soup Campbells of Greenbrier East. I hope people understand when I say that, the Fighting Soup Campbells. Do they know what I'm talking about there?
I doubt it, but
The play-by-play announcer at Greenbrier East is Jeff Soup Campbell. Jeff Soup Campbell. He's the longtime veteran award-winning play-by-play voice of the Spartans of Greenbrier East. He's also our statistician for the Mountaineers. And anyway, the Fighting Soup Campbells are number 11 of Greenbrier East. Brook is 10. Huntington and Morgantown are 8. Number 7 is GW, 6 Jefferson, Martinsburg 5, Wheeling Park 4, Capital 3, Point Pleasant 2. That's the Point, for those of you that really know the football world, the Point. And number 1 is Cabell Midland. So there you go. All the rankings, in case I said it in too quickly for you, are on our website at wvmetronews.com. When we come back, speaking of rankings, how's 8-0 sound for you? Pretty good. Shepherd football coach Monty Cater, his Rams getting set for a date with the Falcons at Fairmont Thursday night. The Mountain East Conference game of the week on the television side on the MetroNews TV channel on our website at wvmetronews.com. It'll be coming your way. We invite you to join us. Monty joins us still to come. Chris Level, sideline reporter for Texas Tech, and plus why Hunter is worried about growing a beard. That's when we return. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline.
Coming this fall, the brand that brought you the ultimate outdoor experience now brings you the award-winning cast. The Jeep brand lineup is a captivating ensemble. Critics are calling the Jeep Renegade inspiring with up to 31 miles per gallon highway. Four-Wheeler Magazine names Jeep Cherokee the 2015 4x4 of the year. And Grand Cherokee is being recognized as the most luxurious SUV in its class. From the highways to the mountains, from the skyscrapers to the stars, this lineup has something for everyone. Presenting the Jeep brand lineup. Get 0% APR for 75 months on most 2015 Cherokee models at the Jeep Black Friday Blockbuster sales event going on now.
Exclude sport model. Financing equals $13.33 per month for $1,000 finance for qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital, regardless of down payment. Not all buyers will qualify. Take retail delivery by 11/30/15. See dealer for details. EPA estimate 4x2 with 1.4-liter multi-air turbo engine and 6-speed manual transmission. Actual results may vary. Ward segmentation. Summit Model Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
The Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On Metro News. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Gosh, cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
navigate any map, you need a legend celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee, 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Shepherd coach Monty Cater will join us here in just a second. A reminder, if you've sighted your rifle and you've taken your hunter education course, now it's time to get your West Virginia Division of Natural Resources permanent ID number. You can do that several different ways. You can go to wvhunt.com. You can go to a DNR office, or you can go to a license agent, and you'll then be set, once you have your number, to check in that big buck or a doe by phone, by a computer, or just do it at the licensing agent. Don't put it off. Do it today. Go to wvhunt.com. We're raising money here tonight for former Mountaineer Rick Phillips, who's got some significant medical issues. We're raffling off 2 sideline passes for the Mountaineers and Texas Tech this Saturday. We do have a $1,000 bid. If you'd like to join, we're going to bid until $650 and call it at that point. The number to call is 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. Coming up, Chris Level, broadcaster for Texas Tech. We'll get a read on the Red Raiders. Joining us now, the ultra-successful coach of the Shepherd Rams, Monty Cater. Good evening to you, Coach.
Tony, how are you?
I'm great. Congratulations. You're doing it again.
Well, I've got some good kids and I got great staff, so it's a little bit easier to have some success when those things are working. But we're still a pretty young football team. We only have 10 seniors, so hopefully we can keep it going.
That's a scary thought to the rest of the MEC.
There's some good football teams in the MEC, and we have a chance to see them every week. So it's I think, so much more balanced than the West Virginia Conference was. And, of course, we've added some teams a little farther away, which we check. We find that out every time we do mileage for those long trips. But it is. There's some very, very good football teams, and you better be ready every Saturday.
You were speaking like an athletic director there about mileage. You know, everything costs, man. Everything's got a cost to it, doesn't it?
It does, and he reminds me of that about once a week. So.
Greg and I were talking before the show started tonight. When you stop and it's November and you think back to what people were saying before the season began, a lot of times, as anyone looks forward to a football season, they think, well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen and this guy's going to be good and that guy's going to be good. And to be quite honest with you, it normally doesn't happen that way. What were your expectations for this team going into this season? In your heart of hearts, did you think 8-0 at this point was truly realistic?
I think we look at some of the tough matchups on the road that, would be able to can you survive some of those, and can you stay healthy? We are young. You're going to make some young mistakes over the course of a season, but, some of the younger kids have played well. Our quarterback is making good decisions. The defense maybe not as dominant as it's been in some of the past seasons, especially against the run, but we've been able to score a few more points and not have to have shutouts every week, which was one of those things where we kind of hoped that would happen in some of those previous years. But, I thought we could be in it, but I knew, what kind of talent was coming back on some of these teams, and some of the others were young, and there's some new faces, kind of like at Fairmont, and Concord had a lot of good people coming back. So we thought we could be in it, but some things were going to have to go our way.
Monty Cater, the head coach of Shepherd, is our guest, and he will be featured in the MEC Game of the Week on Thursday night as the Rams play at Fairmont State, and that game is available to you on our website, televised coverage at wvmetronews.com.
Monty, based on what we've seen out of you through the many years, we always think of Shepherd as the defense-dominant run game team, but you guys are throwing the ball really effectively this year. Is it just a matter of personnel, or is it a philosophy change on your point?
Well, we have some good people to throw to, and Jeff Ziemba, our quarterback, has made good decisions. He hasn't forced the ball, and we got him back for another year next year. So somebody that's gone through some youth to play with that type of maturity is very, very welcome. But I think part of it too is teams are trying to take some of that run away. And while we have guys returning that were running backs, we've got some youth up front as far as the offensive line. We lost 3 starters there, and then another one to academics before the season started. So we really only had 1 starter back, and there have been some growing pains. So I think the defenses that we see and some youth and new faces up front has hurt us just a little bit as far as the run game.
Now, I know you're not going to host a Thursday game at Shepherd because you would have to have lights. But with that being said, what do you think of the Thursday night package?
Well, see, I'm too much of a traditionalist. I mean, I had Saturday afternoons when college football's played, but I know that there's some thought that there'll be bigger crowds and that they try to feature at least one of those every week, that you'd have a Thursday night game, and that part of it's neat. And a lot of our guys, that are young, they're used to that high school Friday night stuff and everything like that too. So they're excited. I kind of like the Saturday afternoons, but and we got a heck of a challenge going up to Fairmont on Thursday. So I kind of like the traditional times and stuff like that, but I think I'm in the minority.
Well, you might be, but I'm with you. If it was up to me, Monty, games would start on Saturdays at either 12 or 1. That would be the variation. I'd be like, if liberally, I would go, okay, we can go at 1. other than that, it's going to be 12. That's kind of what I would do.
I'm like that too, but we've had some teams that have pretty long trips. We're one of their longest trips, and as a matter of fact, we play our home games here at 12, so guys have got to go a long way back, and some other teams have returned the favor. Concord, the game we played with them a couple weeks ago, they play at 12, and it's to help. So, we appreciate it, and hopefully we can get some people back, maybe not be so late when they get back on Saturday night.
Watching tape of the Falcons, what concerns you about Fairmont?
Well, there's a lot of new faces from last year, and it was a very one-sided game here. And, right now they won 5 out of 6. They're playing their best football. But, with some of the new faces, I think you're seeing a much stronger defense, an attacking kind of defense. Their offense is more balanced. They've got good people to throw to and run. We all have those areas where we're concerned, and then obviously we had a very physical game with West Liberty. So, we're still looking at a couple guys we hope are going to be able to play this Thursday. But they across the board, they're a better football team, and it's showing in the win column right now.
Monty, you guys are certainly ranked high, number 1 in the region. Charleston's a couple behind you. Is there any doubt in your mind that the Mountain East deserves at least 2 teams in the playoffs?
Well, I've been saying that for a long time, and I try not to disparage the Pennsylvania Conference, but somehow or another they always get 3 or 4 in. And we have teams in our league that do well in the playoffs, and last year Concord had to beat 2 of those to get out and win the region, and we had some of that success in 2010. But it's a good league. I just am struggling with how they get so many in when we were lucky to get 1.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be multiple teams this year. Coach,
well, they're deserving. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. The Charleston, because that was a tough ball game as well.
Yeah, Pat's done a really nice job there building that thing up there. Monty, we appreciate your time. We wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the way. We encourage people to watch your game on the website if they can't get to Fairmont. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, ball goes in the air at WVMetroNews.com. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate having a chance to be on with you guys.
Yes, sir. You take care. There he is. Monty Cater, head coach of Shepherd, does not get the attention nor the respect that he is due for. You know what? Everyone could be a flash in the pan, right? If you just keep doing it over years and then over decades, that is the absolute ultimate tribute to success. We invite you to stay tuned. Coming up, we're going to head out to Lubbock. We're going to get an update from Chris Level of the Texas Tech Radio Network on this Red Raiders team. They have not had a bye week yet this season. It's November. 10 in a row coming up. We'll talk with Chris, see where they stand. Again, we're having an auction that goes until 6:50 tonight, and we are auctioning off 2 sideline passes for Saturday's game, West Virginia, Texas Tech. And right now that bid stands at $1,000. The money goes to the medical funds for former Mountaineer Rick Phillips, who has beset by some serious medical issues. If you'd like to bid, 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. That and more as the Northside Automotive Statewide Sports Line returns.
Good paying jobs with great benefits are available now. As a correctional officer with the West Virginia Division of Corrections, you'll also have educational opportunities for a degree in criminal justice at reduced prices. High school diploma or GED and drug screening required. Take advantage of an accelerated hiring and training process that other state agencies don't offer. National Guard members get partial credit in the Training Academy. Visit WVDOC.com.
All Medicare eligible individuals. It's time for open enrollment. Take advantage of the health plan's Medicare plans with benefits such as Silver Sneakers gym membership, an extensive list of doctors and hospitals. Contact us 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week at 1-877-847-7915 or visit healthplan.org/Medicare. This information is not a complete description of benefits. Contact the plan for more information. Limitations, copayments, and restrictions may apply. Benefits and/or copayments, coinsurance may change on January 1 of each year.
Thursday nights on MetroNews, it's Mountain East Conference football. This Thursday, the Shepherd University Rams visit the Fairmont State University Fighting Falcons. And MetroNews brings you all the action. Join Travis Jones and Rasheed Marshall for the call of the game starting at 7. Don't miss Division II football at its best as the Falcons take on the Rams. On Mountain East Conference Thursday night football from MetroNews and WVMetroNews.com. The Northside Automotive Statewide Sports Line returns in 2 minutes. On MetroNews. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
To navigate any map, you need a legend, celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Northside Automotive Statewide Sports Line. Tony Carudi along with Coach Greg Hunter, West Virginia and Texas Tech. Ball goes up into the air at noon on Saturday. Of course, tonight, everyone's going to just get into a big. They're just going to get into a big. They're all going to get just angst filled here in just an hour, less than an hour. That's because first college football poll is out, and the Big 12 could be excluded. Holy heck.
No.
Oh, it could happen, Coach Hunter.
Not again.
Coach Hunter, I'm just telling you, it could happen, and then you're going to hear this death roar coming out of the Big 12 We'll talk about that coming up. Again, up until 6:50 tonight, we're auctioning off 2 sideline passes for Saturday's game between the Mountaineers and Texas Tech. Currently, we have a bid of $1,000. The money goes to offset medical costs for former Mountaineer Ricky Phillips, who's a starting member of that 1988 Fiesta Bowl team. Let's head out to Lubbock, Texas, the home of Buddy Holly and Chris Level of the Texas Tech broadcast crew. Good evening to you, Chris.
Tony, how in the heck are you doing, my friend?
Buddy, I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I know that West Virginia and Texas Tech are not going to get their name called tonight, but I'm kind of fascinated to see how the country perceives, the old Big 12. You and I have both seen these top 4 teams in the Big 12, and you're right. They could get shut out, but Texas Tech Athletic Director Kirby Hocutt is on that committee, so it's kind of fascinating for us, kind of close to him to kind of see how that thing is working and see how the league is perceived.
We had a guy on the committee last year. In fact, your AD replaced our guy, and it really didn't matter.
Obviously not.
It really didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Are you tired? 9 straight games. Are you tired? Without a bye?
Yeah, this has been a beatdown. I don't mind telling you. And we're not playing and practicing and all that stuff. But I mean, it's I can tell the grind is taking a toll. There is no question about it. Anybody that says it hasn't, it's just not an ideal way to set up a schedule. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I mean, they're going to get a couple of extra days before their very last game, but other than that, this has been straight through, and they've been as beaten up as any team, and had to face the Horned Frogs and the Baylor Bears back-to-back weeks, and that wasn't a lot of fun, and then facing Oklahoma schools back-to-back weeks, and that wasn't a lot of fun, and so. Yeah, but you got to keep your head down and got to keep grinding. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
So here's the deal. You've lost to teams that are a combined 30-1. West Virginia's lost to a series of teams that are a combined 30-1. And the reason is this. So when the league puts together the schedule, they look at the teams that they think are going to be in the bottom half of the schedule, and they play them off against the teams in the top half of the schedule, basically in October. And then they save the teams that they think are going to be in the top half of the conference standings and play them off in November because it adds to drama and expectation. But what it actually does is that it creates an imbalanced, unfair schedule. There's no frickin' way that West Virginia should have to play 3 out of 4 in the month of October on the road, and as you said, you had TCU Baylor back-to-back. So did West Virginia have TCU and Baylor back-to-back. That is not by draw. That is by they figured that deal out, and they said, we want TCU Oklahoma State in November. We want, obviously, Baylor and TCU in November. And for teams that are trying to make the jump up from bottom half to upper echelon in the league, I don't know how you ever do that.
And I'll tell you what else they've done, and probably it's one of those things. Now, granted, this league is not; they don't make great decisions, as we all know. But they've created themselves a fancy little 14 playoff here in November, and everybody's all excited about that. But what they could end up doing though is screwing themselves. Here's a shocker, because guess what? Alabama lost to Ole Miss a month, 6 weeks ago. Notre Dame lost to Clemson, a month, 6 weeks ago? You lose one of these games in late November, I'm sorry, you're probably out. You're going to need a whole lot to happen for you to try to get it back, because these late losses are not near as easy to overcome. Now, there's a few examples in past history to where things fell right. Now, I don't know about the playoff, but, I mean, this is uncharted territory. But that's the other thing that you set up. Now, you created yourself this November that everybody seems to be excited about, but you could end up screwing yourself trying to get your team or teams into the playoff because you've backloaded the schedule. So I'm with you. I'm not certain that it was very smart on their part, and again, not shocked. I got to tell you, this is not the wisest of decisions for this league most of the time.
Chris Level, one of the broadcast members of the Texas Tech Radio Network, joins us on the program as West Virginia gets set for Texas Tech, and that, again, the ball goes into the air at noon on Saturday. So you guys, here's the deal. I'll just lay it out to you in case you don't know this, but you already do know this. You haven't had a bye week. You're going to travel 1,400 miles, longest trip in the Big 12 from Lubbock to West Virginia. You're going to play with what your body thinks is 11 a.m. And you just gave up 70. It's hard, man. It's hard. I mean, is that just me, or is that just like you talk about a situation that's not good?
No, it's not. And I think what's even more frustrating, if you could just go back to last week, is that Texas Tech's up 17-0. They're up 31-14. They're up 38-28 at halftime. I mean, this was a bit different than the TCU loss. The TCU loss at home was a true heartbreaker. This is just a straight up, kind of a botched job. I think against a winnable, it was a winnable game against a beatable opponent, but at the end of the day, I think what you do is you just ultimately say, you know what, we thought we were better than they were on this day, but we're not. We couldn't sustain it. We couldn't hold on. I think your defense gave up some plays in that late part of the third quarter after getting plenty of stops, mind you. Now that part will be lost, and then your offense gets behind, and then you start your quarterback, who still are early on in his career, makes a few bad decisions, and then you're just not good enough to overcome it. I mean, period. But that's what's frustrating about this past Saturday. But you're right. I mean, then you gotta. I go over there on Monday afternoon talking to I guess it was yesterday afternoon talking to these guys, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm expecting to see from a mood standpoint, but they have no choice but to get past it, and they're still trying to get that sixth win. They didn't get to go to a bowl game last year. And this is a program that always goes to bowl games for the most part. And so that is something they have got to try to attain. And whether it's this Saturday or the following one or the last one versus Texas on Thanksgiving night, got to get it done somehow. And, again, nobody's going to give it to you.
Certainly in this league they aren't. But one thing that Texas Tech has seemingly gotten a lot of is points. This offense looks like is maybe as struggling as the defense is, the offense is that much better. How good is this offense? No one really has seemingly slowed it down all year.
And what's interesting is you say that, and I agree that they're probably a little more explosive than I think most people thought. Is some people, what's wrong with the offense? Why are they not? That third quarter was so stagnant. Why do they not score? And it's like it's just one of those things when you lose. Everybody's looking for things to figure out what the deal is. But they've had good quarterback play this year. Now, in this stretch, Pat has made some mistakes, and some of it, not all of it, on his own. He doesn't have near as much around him as I think people would like to think. The strength is clearly their running back and DeAndre Washington and Justin Stockton, and their inside receivers and Ian Sadler and Jakeem Grant. And Jakeem Grant is – I would probably, from your audience, I would mention Tavon Austin's name with him. I don't know if he's quite that good, but he's just one of those weird college players that you just can't tackle, and you can put him anywhere, whether it's kickoff return or throw it to him. And I don't know if you guys saw his catch and run last week, but it was just like a video game. I mean, and he hasn't been as consistent this year as he wants, but they have had success scoring points. Now, I will tell you, most of the time that they really go nuts, though, it's at home. Now, on the road, they're going to score 30 or 35, but sometimes that has not been near enough. I mean, in Norman and in Arlington versus Baylor, you're still getting beat 20, 30, 40 points. So they haven't been able to do as much on the road as they have at home. So keep an eye on that this weekend for sure.
Yeah, Chris, that's what I was going to bring up next. There is a noticeable difference, isn't there, in your road performance and your home performance? I mean, at home, you guys bounce, and it's rock and roll. It is like a video game.
Yeah, and the one exception was, and that's what I got a lot of chatter about yesterday is that the one exception was Fayetteville. Now, they only scored 35, but they played – that was a game where time of possession, Arkansas held the ball a long time, and Tech actually held the ball on some drives that were, longer than they're used to in 6-7 minute range. But they just played from ahead. They played well from the start all throughout. And in Kansas, they didn't do that. In Norman, they didn't do that. And so I think that was the chatter this week is we got to figure out a way to do what we did in Fayetteville and just start crisp and carry it through. And I don't know what the answer to that is, but you're right. It has been a noticeable difference. But that's maybe the best game I've seen this team play in Cliff's tenure what was in Fayetteville, and it worked that day, but they just haven't been able to do it since.
Yeah, certainly the defense worked that day, but was that just a one-game aberration for this defense? I mean, or is it a product of playing Baylor, TCU, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State giving up, 50-plus each in one of those outings?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. This is not a good defense. I mean, nobody's going to tell you that they are. I mean, but part of it is being compounded by playing Boykin and Corey Coleman. I mean, these guys are just sick. You've seen them. I mean, Tech just does not have the personnel to try to stop these guys. And yet here you are against TCU and Boykin and Doxson, and you force a fourth down, and you actually get the quarterback to overthrow it. And you still wasn't enough to get it done. But I think some of it is they're not great. They know that. Part of it is who they've played. The one thing that they are doing is they're mixing in turnovers. They'll get a few takeaways, and that when they're winning games, that's been a big reason why they're winning, when the offense is taking care of it. But last year they were just a bad defense that wasn't creating any takeaways at all. And so that's the one thing David Gibbs has been able to do. But this has been really hard on him because he's not used to this. I mean, everywhere he's been before, I mean, they play good defense, and I think this has been a struggle, but part of it is because in this conference and with the play calling and the skill, it's brutal.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, great hearing your voice. I hope you guys have a great, safe trip in. Where you guys staying in Bridgeport?
I believe that is accurate. Yes, yep. I believe so. Looking forward to the trip out there. Love the passion of the Mountaineer faithful, and get to come out there for basketball every year, and enjoyed it a couple of years ago. But it's a great place, and glad you guys are in the league. Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I think the weather's supposed to be decent, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it's going to cool off a little bit. Yeah, 50s on Saturday. Perfect. Maybe chance around. I mean, it's been 70 here through Friday, so it's been perfect. You'll get a little bit more of a chill when you get here.
Sounds good. Chris, thanks so much, buddy. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you very much. We'll see you Saturday.
All right, buddy. We'll see you now. There he is. Chris Level, sideline reporter for the Texas Tech Radio Network. All right, we're going to go to break. If you've been holding off, you've got 90 seconds. If you want to get in on this bid for 2 sideline passes for the Mountaineers and Texas Tech on Saturday, we have a $1,000 bid. The money goes to medical proceeds for former Mountaineer Ricky Phillips. The number to call is 800-765-8255, 800-765-TALK. We'll tell you if that $1,000 holds up when we return. Again, the number 800-765-8255. We'll be back.
Have you ever wondered just who are the Friends of Coal? Well, there are 50,000 West Virginia families who support the state's coal industry, and they look a lot like you. Honest, hardworking, good neighbors who want a future for themselves and their state. They're coal miners, housewives, school teachers, mechanics, doctors, college professors, pizza delivery guys, your friends. The Friends of Coal know and understand the importance of the coal industry to our state's economy. They know about the 60,000 jobs the coal industry creates in our state. They know about the $25 billion the industry pumps into our economy. And they know that without coal, our state would face an economic catastrophe. Come to think of it, that sounds like most West Virginians. Let Congress know you are a proud West Virginian, and you are a friend of coal.
Coal is West Virginia.
As a cyclist, we make choices. We choose which motorcycle manufacturer to buy from. We choose what type of motorcycle we ride. We even choose where and when to ride. We also choose to ride straight, alcohol and drug-free. Alcohol is involved in 50% of motorcycle fatalities in West Virginia. That's 1 in 2 drivers who die each year. Don't become a statistic. Ride straight, alcohol and drug-free. Presented by the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Governor's Highway Safety and Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Program.
This Saturday, the West Virginia Mountaineers return home for a matchup with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Join the MetroNews Game Day crew starting at 9 a.m. for the Jeep Golden Blue Countdown. Then at 10, it's the Sports Brunch, followed by Game Line at high noon. Post-game coverage begins at 3 with the Golden Blue Wrap-Up presented by the West Virginia Oil and Natural Gas Association, followed by the Point After. Don't miss game day coverage at its best here on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia. The Northside Automotive statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On MetroNews. For 30 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
To navigate any map, you need a legend. Celebrating the most awarded SUV lineup ever. Jeep Cherokee, 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. And introducing Jeep Renegade, the most capable small SUV ever. Now get an additional $500 bonus cash at the Jeep Celebration event. Get 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited.
When something is missing from the picture, it doesn't make sense. Without the right people, your work site is just a site. Your office is just a space. Let's Train West Virginia has grant funding for on-the-job training in today's in-demand careers. Workers learn while they earn, and companies can be reimbursed up to $10,000 per eligible new hire. So qualified employees and satisfied employers complete the picture. Learn more at letstrainwv.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline, final segment of our program. Yeah, it's been busy. A reminder, if you're a hunter, you can get a DNR permanent ID number, your own permanent ID number. A couple of different ways as hunting season gets closer to arriving here. At wvhunt.com, you can get one. You can go to a DNR office or a licensed agent, and then you'll be set to check that massive buck in or doe by phone, computer, or at a licensed agent. Don't put it off. Visit the website, wvhunt.com. If you're watching our program, if you've heard about this yet, Coach Hunter and I are 2 of 12 people that are not going to be shaving in the month of November for a great cause, the West Virginia Alzheimer's Association. And joining us right now is the executive director of the West Virginia Alzheimer's Association, Laurel Waller. Good evening to you, Laurel.
Good evening. How are y'all tonight?
We're doing well. Coach Hunter, who's with me here, Laurel, is very concerned. He's a very adult man. He has never tried to grow a beard in his entire life. I asked him how it was going earlier today, and he's kind of whining, but he did say he will not quit.
Oh, hang in there. You can do it.
Absolutely, he will.
I will continue, though it's going to be an ugly, ugly month.
I think he'll look like Mufasa by the time by the time the month is over. For those that don't know, we've got 12 people from West Virginia Radio Corporation that have agreed not to shave this month, and at the same time raise awareness and hopefully raise monies for the West Virginia Alzheimer's Association. I've been talking to Laurel here for the last couple of 3 weeks or so. And this is a disease that unfortunately continues to grow. Laurel, how significant is this disease right now just in the state of West Virginia alone?
You know, there are more than 40,000 West Virginians with Alzheimer's disease just here in West Virginia. And the even bigger number, they are cared for by 108,000 friends, family members, neighbors. That is a tremendous impact. I mean, that's twice the size of the biggest city here in West Virginia. So Alzheimer's disease is a huge impact on our state, both sheer numbers of people and financially. So it's incredible that you guys are tackling this cause, and especially doing it with something fun, like growing a beard. Well, fun for most of you guys, maybe.
Hunter's whining. Tell us a little bit, once the monies are raised, and if you'd like to donate, and we certainly wish that you would, if you'd like to donate, the website is noshavewv.org. Noshavewv.org. You can check that out. It's a really simple, super simple website to make a donation, noshavewv.com. What will the money be used for?
You know, here in West Virginia, the Alzheimer's Association provides programs and services for families who are facing Alzheimer's disease, from our 24-hour helpline to care consultations to support groups. We're just about to launch our early stage initiatives for the month of November. And for your listeners out there, if you are caring for someone or if you have Alzheimer's disease, you are not alone. We are here to help. Our expert staff does a tremendous job supporting individuals and families. But we also utilize the funds to support advocacy efforts. For example, thanks to our advocacy efforts, there's a $300 million increase in federal NIH funding for Alzheimer's disease research that hopefully will go through the budget, fingers crossed, as well as research, which will get us to our ultimate vision of a world without Alzheimer's disease.
It's a fantastic cause, I think, that we've got going here, and we encourage people to help us out. We're in the third day of November right now. We're going to do this literally to the end of November, so at any point, we encourage people to check it out. It does impact women more than men. 2/3 of the people that suffer from Alzheimer's are female, which oftentimes means that the male spouse or caregiver becomes that person. And so we want to certainly draw attention to that and encourage people to check it out and gain more information at noshavewv.com. Laurel, thank you. We're in good whisker mode, and we'll keep you updated here via pictures and things like that as well.
We love it. Thank you guys so much. This is such a tremendous outreach for us, and we're going to help a ton of people thanks to y'all.
You bet. Thanks, Laura. We'll talk to you.
Thanks.
There she is, Laura Waller, Executive Director, West Virginia Alzheimer's Association. Special thanks to a person that wants to remain anonymous that has now 2 sideline passes for Saturday's game between the Mountaineers and Texas Tech. The winning bid came early, and that's great. $1,000 has been donated in our auction, and that will go to help former Mountaineer Rick Phillips with those medical costs for the issues that he is dealing with. He wanted to remain anonymous, and we will certainly live that true. All right, bunch of stuff on the website after today's press conference was over. Again, storyline coming out. Mountaineers will make changes on the offensive line in Saturday's game based on how practice goes this week. Tennessee Titans have fired Ken Wisenhunt just less than 2 years into his tenure, and now coming word that Pep Hamilton is out as the offensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, and former Miami standout Rob Chudzinski is now the new OC at Indianapolis. Thanks for being with us. That was busy. That was quick. We're out. Talk again tomorrow night, 6:06 Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline. Big 12 Supervisor of Officials Curtis Shaw tomorrow night on the show.
The Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline has been an exclusive presentation of the MetroNews Radio Network. Copyright 2015. All rights reserved.